Your body is the first business you manage. Before wealth, protect your health. Before success, build your energy. Sleep, nutrition, movement, discipline. Because wealth means nothing if your body breaks down. Digital Block Wellness.
Imagine a CEO who, intentionally bankrupts their company's cash reserves every single night.
Oh, wow.
Right. And they fuel their operations with cheap, counterfeit materials and just completely ignore every blaring red flag for their board of directors.
Yeah, you would call them a terrible leader.
Exactly. You'd probably say they were grossly negligent. But if you look at how most of us treat our own bodies, I mean, that is exactly the kind of CEO we are being.
It really is.
We chase the massive promotion, we build these incredibly complex careers, and then we fuel the entire operation on, fast food, adrenaline, and just pure chronic stress.
It's the ultimate irony of modern ambition, isn't it?
Oh, totally.
I mean, we sacrifice the very vessel that allows us to achieve anything, all in the name of achievement. We just separate the mind from the body, assuming the physical form will, I don't know, just indefinitely tolerate whatever abuse we throw at it.
Just to hit our professional goals.
Exactly.
Well, welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are looking at a really compelling wellness script from Digital Block Wellness.
Such a good piece.
It is. It's titled, Your Body is the First Business You Manage. And the mission of our deep dive today is to explore this massive paradigm shift.
Yeah.
The idea here is that you shouldn't just be managing your finances or your brand or your career. You have to first act as the CEO of your own biology.
Which requires a really profound shift in perspective.
Oh, absolutely.
The core thesis from our source material is that wealth, however you personally define it, right, means absolutely nothing if the physical machinery breaks down before you can actually enjoy the dividends.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because I see this disconnect constantly.
Oh, everywhere.
People will relentlessly obsess over the structural integrity of their investment portfolios, right?
Yes, they will diversify, they will rebalance.
They'll check the markets every single morning just to protect their assets.
Yeah.
But then they treat their physical health like a disposable expense.
Yeah.
It's almost as if they think the body's just a rental car they're planning to return at the end of the week.
That is a perfect analogy.
Right. Rather than the primary asset that generates literally everything else.
What's fascinating here is how brilliantly this source maps corporate concepts directly onto human biology.
Yeah, it's so clever.
Because in the business world, we all understand that a company needs structure. It needs systems, fuel, maintenance, leadership.
Of course.
And our source argues that your body requires that exact same executive framework.
The script gives us a literal corporate org chart for the human body, and it lays it out like this. So, sleep is your operations department.
Okay.
Food is the supply chain. Your mindset is the leadership team. Your discipline is the daily system. And your energy, well, that is your cash flow.
I love that framing. And before we analyze those specific departments, we first really need to understand how a business signals that it is failing.
Right, because a multi-million-dollar company doesn't just go bankrupt overnight without warning.
Exactly. There are always leading indicators. Bad internal systems inevitably lead to outward chaos.
And in the body, those leading indicators are what the source explicitly calls warning signs.
Yeah.
We're talking about constant fatigue, brain fog, poor digestion, severe mood swings.
All the classics.
Right. Now, if a legitimate business had those kinds of red flags flashing across their quarterly reports, the CEO would call an emergency board meeting.
Instantly.
But when our bodies flash those exact same warning signs, what do? We just pour another cup of coffee and ignore it. I mean, why do we normalize that dysfunction?
Well, we normalize it because we fundamentally misinterpret what those signs mean biologically.
What do you mean?
Take brain fog, for example.
Yeah.
That isn't just you feeling a little tired. That is your brain actively rationing glucose and oxygen because the internal systems are just too depleted to run at full capacity.
Wait, really? It's literally rationing energy.
Yes. Your body is essentially initiating rolling blackouts to conserve power.
Wow.
Yet highly ambitious people just keep grinding, telling themselves this incredibly dangerous lie, I'll deal with my health later.
Yes, the infamous later.
You all say it.
So what does this all actually mean when later arrives? Because look, I know people who say, I'll sleep when I hit this revenue goal.
Right, or once this app launches, then I'll start eating right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But isn't that just kind of the necessary sacrifice of building an empire? Like, don't you have to run a little lean and mean sometimes?
I mean, it's a common defense, but running lean in business doesn't mean you stop paying the electric bill.
That's fair.
When you skip quality physical inputs, your body actually compensates by dumping stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline into your bloodstream just to keep you upright.
Oh, man. So it's a false energy.
Completely.
Right.
And the grim reality outlined in our source is that later is never a time of relaxation.
No.
No, later becomes incredibly expensive, becomes a daily handful of medication, profound physiological burnout, and ultimately regret.
That is so heavy, but so true.
It is. The challenge for you listening right now is to really consider this. A smart business owner does not wait for a total structural collapse to fix a broken system. So why would you wait for a catastrophic physical breakdown, like a heart attack or a severe autoimmune response, to finally pay attention to your body?
You definitely don't wait for the server farm to catch fire before you update the software.
Exactly.
Which brings us to the lifeblood of this entire operation. Every business needs capital to operate. You need cash flow.
You do.
But according to this framework, the currency of the human body isn't money, it's energy.
And this is a crucial, really foundational distinction. We are socially conditioned to think that money is the ultimate currency of success.
Right, of course.
But biologically speaking, without energy, you literally cannot execute.
You just can't.
You cannot think clearly, you can't create consistently, and you certainly cannot make high-level decisions.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Think about how we view our daily health choices.
Okay.
I like to think of them as microtransactions.
Oh, I like that.
Right. Every single decision you make, what time you close your laptop, what you eat for lunch, whether you take a 10-minute walk, it's either building up your energetic bank account or it is putting you into energetic debt.
Yes.
And as the source states, the body keeps the score.
It rigorously keeps the score. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it permanently changes the definition of what a wealthy mindset actually is.
How so?
Because a truly wealthy mindset must include biological health, not just financial health.
Right.
You can possess the most brilliant business strategy in the world, but if your prefrontal cortex, which is the decision-making center of your brain, if that is compromised from exhaustion, your execution will just be weak.
The body is the literal machine that allows you to show up and utilize your knowledge.
Exactly.
But hold on, let me play devil's advocate for a second.
Go for it.
If the body keeps a strict ledger of every microtransaction, what happens when we inevitably mess up? Like, let's say I have one massive, terrible meal, or I pull an all-nighter to hit a deadline. Does that throw the whole energetic ledger into the red? Are we aiming for absolute perfection here?
Not at all. And that's where the concept of compounding comes in.
Okay, compounding.
Just like money compounds in an investment account, your physiological habits compound. One bad night of sleep or one extremely stressful day isn't going to bankrupt the business.
That's a relief.
Yeah, the body is incredibly resilient in the short term. The problem and the massive cost arises when those microtransactions become your default operating system over years.
Right. It's not the one bad night, it's the decade of bad nights.
Precisely.
Which naturally leads us into the specific departments that generate this vital currency of energy. Let's look at operations in the supply chain.
The big ones.
Yeah. In our biological corporate structure, that is sleep and food. Let's start with operations. Sleep.
Oh, sleep.
In the modern hustle culture, sleep has been totally rebranded as a weakness.
It's viewed as a biological nuisance, something that just gets in the way of productivity.
Exactly. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Right. But the source completely flips that script. Sleep is not laziness. Sleep is strategy.
It is.
It's recovery, repair, and a complete biological reset.
And to understand why, you really have to look at the mechanism.
Okay, let's hear it.
When you sleep, you aren't just powering down. Your brain literally shrinks slightly.
Wait, it physically shrinks?
Yeah, just a tiny bit. It shrinks to allow cerebrospinal fluid to basically wash away toxic byproducts that have built up during your waking hours.
That is wild.
It's the glymphatic system. Think of it as the night shift cleaning crew.
I love that.
And if you cut your sleep short, you are firing the cleaning crew before they finish the job. So the toxic proteins just stay in your brain.
So when operations are broken, the entire company suffers the next day.
Exactly.
The source details exactly how poor sleep sabotages your execution. I mean, it makes you irritable. It causes you to crave sugar for quick, cheap energy.
Oh, the sugar cravings are real.
Right. You procrastinate. And most dangerously for a leader, you make highly emotional decisions.
Because the emotional center of your brain, the amygdala, becomes hyper-reactive when you are sleep-deprived.
While the logical center is suppressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
You literally lose your executive function. You start the day feeling behind before you've even gotten out of bed.
I see so many people obsessing over having this, like, hyper-optimized morning routine.
Oh, totally.
They're doing ice baths, journaling for an hour, tracking their morning sunlight exposure, but then they completely refuse to fix their late-night scrolling habit.
Staring at blue light until 1 a.m.
Exactly. The source has this great piece of wisdom. Your night routine controls your morning momentum. You simply cannot build a high-performance day on a low-quality night.
It's structurally impossible. A serious business owner protects operations above all else.
Right.
Therefore, a serious person protects their sleep. And you don't need some complicated 12-step biohacking process. Keep the room cool and dark, go to bed at a consistent time, and just give your brain time to genuinely shut down before your head hits the pillow.
So we've got operations handling the biological reset. But those operations heavily dictate what happens in our next department, the supply chain, food.
They are deeply connected.
Yeah, because if your sleep is terrible, your hormones, specifically ghrelin and leptin, which control hunger and fullness, they get completely corrupted.
They do.
You start making terrible choices in the supply chain.
Yeah,
And every business depends entirely on the quality of its raw materials.
precisely. We need to elevate how we view food. It is not merely fuel or calories, it is information.
Information.
Yes, it is a highly complex set of chemical instructions you are delivering to your biology. Every single meal tells your body to execute a specific directive.
Can you break down the biological how on that? Because, I think people hear food is information and it sounds a bit like an empty wellness platitude.
Oh, I totally get that.
How is a meal literally giving my body instructions?
Well, it comes down to cellular signaling. When you eat highly processed, sugary foods, you aren't just taking in bad calories, you are causing a massive spike in blood sugar.
Right, the sugar rush.
Exactly. And your pancreas responds by pumping out insulin. In this state, insulin acts as a chemical memo to your cells that says, store this energy as fat and prepare for an imminent crash.
Wow.
Conversely, when you eat high-quality protein, you're sending amino acids to your muscle tissue with the exact biological code required to initiate repair and build physical strength.
It's like a tech company buying counterfeit microchips from a shady supplier just to save money on the quarterly budget.
Exactly like that.
Sure, the servers might turn on today, but the entire network is going to crash right before the biggest product launch of the year.
It's inevitable.
The source points out that perfection isn't the goal here. Consistency is.
And this raises an important question for you to consider. It's actually one of the most powerful reframes in the entire script.
What's the question?
Instead of looking at a menu and asking the emotional question, what do I want to eat right now? Okay. The strategic executive asks, what result am I feeding?
Oh, what result am I feeding?
Yeah.
That completely changes the dynamic.
Hmm.
It takes the momentary emotion out of the craving and makes it a pure executive decision.
Exactly.
Am I feeding focus or am I feeding lethargy? Am I feeding cellular recovery or am I feeding systemic inflammation?
You build your plate around real food because it delivers the correct code. You don't need a textbook on nutrition. You just need to ensure the raw materials support the company's goals.
All right, so we have operations dialed in with sleep and the supply chain optimized with food. We have the raw materials coming in.
Right.
But if you just let those raw materials sit in a warehouse, nothing happens.
Yeah.
They have to be utilized.
Absolutely.
The physical plant has to be maintained. And that brings us to the maintenance department and our corporate liabilities, specifically the hidden taxes on the business. Let's look at movement first.
Yeah, movement. Because the human body is simply not designed to sit folded in a chair staring at a screen for 12 hours a day.
Definitely not.
But importantly, the script clarifies that movement does not mean extreme punishing fitness.
Yeah.
You don't have to train for a triathlon to be biologically wealthy.
Which is such a relief.
Right.
We're not talking about becoming a professional athlete. We are talking about keeping the biological systems online. Walking, stretching, lifting resistance.
Because muscle isn't just an aesthetic feature for looking good on a beach.
No.
From a biological standpoint, muscle acts as a metabolic sink for glucose, and it physically protects your skeletal joints. It is pure asset protection.
And mobility keeps your life from literally getting smaller.
That concept in the source is deeply poignant.
Really is.
If you lose mobility, you start moving in certain ways, you avoid certain physical activities, and you lose confidence in your physical self. The physical world shrinks around you.
The source beautifully equates physical movement directly with wealth. Being able to walk through an airport without pain is wealth.
Yes.
Being able to lift your own groceries or get down on the floor to play with your kids, I mean, that is true functional wealth.
Absolutely. Do not wait until movement becomes painful or difficult to start valuing it. Maintain the property while it's still standing.
Such good advice.
Yeah.
But, even with perfect maintenance, every business has liabilities. And in this framework, stress is the ultimate hidden tax.
It is a massive, often completely invisible tax that drains your energy reserves.
Yeah.
Chronic stress chemically taxes your sleep quality, your digestion, your mood, your focus. I mean, a little bit of acute stress is normal. It's part of doing business.
John.
But the danger is when that stress becomes chronic.
Okay, I have to jump in here because this is where I get a bit confused by the modern narrative.
Okay, what do you mean?
We are constantly told to avoid stress, right? But anyone building something meaningful is going to face immense pressure.
Oh, without a doubt.
Are we just supposed to, meditate our way out of a stressful board meeting? Is it even feasible to tell an ambitious person to stop being stressed?
That is a vital pushback. The goal, according to the source, isn't to magically eliminate all pressure. That's a total fantasy.
Right.
The problem is when we mistake being frantic for being focused.
Oh, that's good.
When you are chronically stressed, your body is saturated in cortisol. You are operating in a perpetual state of emergency mode.
And what happens in emergency mode biologically?
Biologically, your brain shuts down long-term strategic thinking and defaults to short-term survival tactics.
Wow.
You react instinctively instead of responding thoughtfully. And from a business perspective, operating permanently in emergency mode is simply terrible leadership.
Yeah, you're just putting out fires all day.
Exactly. The goal is to consciously build recovery into your daily system.
Yeah.
Waking recovery.
So it's not about avoiding the pressure. It's about systematically down-regulating the nervous system after the pressure occurs.
Yes. Taking 3 deep breaths before walking into your house. That is recovery.
Right.
Setting a hard boundary on checking emails after 8 p.m. is recovery. Sometimes the absolute most profitable, strategic thing you can do as the CEO of your body is just pause.
Just pause. I love that. So we understand the departments. We have operations, supply chain, maintenance, and liability management.
The whole corporate structure.
Right, but understanding the corporate structure intellectually is one thing. Actually implementing it on a random Tuesday, when it's raining, when you're exhausted, and when your motivation is completely gone. I mean, that is the real challenge.
Oh, it's the hardest part. And that brings us to the final unifying piece of the framework, discipline and the daily system.
Discipline.
Because motivation is an emotion, and like all emotions, it is highly volatile and fleeting.
Really is.
A successful business does not grow based on how motivated the CEO happens to feel when they wake up. It grows and scales because of rigid, reliable systems.
I love how the source addresses this because it takes the guilt out of failure.
It really does.
People always think, oh, I couldn't stick to my diet. I must just be a weak person with no willpower. But the script points out that you don't fail because you lack some superhero level of discipline.
No.
You fail because your environment is stronger than your intention.
Exactly. I mean, willpower is a finite biological resource,
It totally depletes as the day goes on.
Right. So if your kitchen is just packed with ultra-processed food, your intention to eat healthy is...
It's constantly at war with your environment.
Yes. Or if your phone is resting right there on your nightstand, your intention to sleep is basically fighting a losing battle against the engineered addiction of that device.
So you have to rig the game in your favor.
You have to.
You act as the executive and design the environment. If you want to walk in the morning, you put your walking shoes right in front of the door where you literally have to trip over them to leave. Yep. You keep a giant glass of water right on your desk. You put the phone in another room. You schedule your physical maintenance in your calendar like it is a non-negotiable meeting with your absolute highest paying client.
The truly wealthy deeply understand systems because systems are what protect the final results.
Yes.
You don't achieve deep health through one massive, dramatic decision. You build a sleep system, a food system, a stress management system.
Little by little.
It is hundreds of small, seemingly insignificant decisions repeated until they fundamentally solidify into your new identity.
Daily deposits. That's the phrase the source uses, and it perfectly encapsulates the idea.
That's a great phrase.
You are voting for a new biological identity every single day with one small disciplined choice after another. One glass of water is a deposit.
One boundary set with a demanding client is a deposit.
Choosing the high-quality protein over the sugary crash is a deposit.
It is the compounding effect realized entirely through systematic action.
Let's bring all of this together. The core message of this deep dive, drawn straight from the Digital Block Wellness script, is that you are the CEO of your energy.
Yes, you are.
You are the sole manager of your daily habits, and you are the ultimate protector of your physical future. You simply cannot sustainably chase external wealth while completely ignoring the biological vessel that actually has to carry that wealth.
Health must come first, wealth second? Because you absolutely need the strong body to build and sustain the strong life.
The source leaves us with a very specific, highly manageable call to action. They say, make just one upgrade today.
Just one.
Don't try to overhaul your entire corporate structure by tomorrow morning. Just make one executive decision.
Keep it simple.
Drink one extra glass of water today, take a 10-minute walk after lunch, or, commit to going to sleep 30 minutes earlier tonight. Start managing your body like it actually matters to your bottom line.
I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over, building on this entire business metaphor we've been unpacking.
Okay, what is it?
If you truly are the CEO of your body, think deeply about the corporate culture you are currently creating.
Oh, wow.
And think about how that culture impacts your employees, meaning your family, your friends, and your colleagues.
That's a huge perspective shift.
Are you modeling a corporate culture of chronic burnout, frantic energy, and perpetual survival mode that your kids or your team will eventually inherit as normal?
Right.
Or are you actively modeling a culture of sustainable wealth, grounded energy, and deep, enduring health?
That is an incredibly powerful question to ask yourself, because what the leadership models the organization adopts as the standard.
Exactly.
We really appreciate you joining us for this deep dive today. Take that one small action, make that one system upgrade, and remember that you cannot build a lasting empire if the foundation is crumbling beneath it. Manage the body first, because when the body gets stronger, your entire life levels up. We'll catch you on the next one.